are the Modern American Institute, and we're ready to begin our presentation. Located in Eastern Europe and Northern Asia, Russia is the largest country in the world. A total of 70 Great Britons could fit inside its borders. Russia is a country full of historical events, revolutionary movements, architectural beauties, and breathtaking landscapes. It is a land in which every aspect can be defined as the superlative of its kind, whether it be by its literature, or dances, philosophy, classical music, or ballet. Don't be afraid of Russian winters. Yes, of course, it gets really cold, but pack some warm winter clothes and brave the snow because it will definitely be worth it. Come see a snowy world that looks straight out of a fairy tale. If you're far enough north, you might even catch a glimpse of the Northern Lights. Moscow and other large cities celebrate the Lenten Winter Festival. It begins in December and encompasses the Russian Christmas and New Year. If you have the chance, go to Lake Baikal. During winter time, the lake ice freezes meters thick. The temperature regularly reaches the negatives. If you get too cold, go to the Banyan, a Russian sort of sauna where one sits in steam and then roams outside and plunges into ice cold water before returning again. It's good for circulation, they say. Once you get back out into the cold, take advantage and go dog sledding. Drive your own dog sled powered by a team of friendly Kamchatka huskies. Just imagine the sound of panting dogs as they trot across the frozen lake, sunlight cascading through elegant trees onto a blanket of snow.
Perhaps you prefer a warmer weather. Try visiting Lake Baikal during summertime. Hotter temperatures bring vacationing Russians to Baikal shores in swimmsuits. Dark green forest shades glistening blue waters, where the Nerpa, a freshwater seal found only by Baikal, plunges below water and resurfaces. This is the Galapagos of Russia, after all, teeming with rampant wildlife, and one of the oldest lakes in the world, at about 25 million years old. The region's historical, shamanist, and Buddhist beliefs lend to the mystical atmosphere. Thousands of miles from any major city, the Siberian isolation feels glorious during summertime, like a retreat, sapping all of the cares from this world in expansive regions. In 1986, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO, declared Lake Baikal a World Heritage for its exceptional uniqueness, recognizing the wealth of natural life and history. If visiting the lake shores, Olgan Island, somewhat near the major Russian city of Irkutsk, yet still a little difficult to visit, is more than worth the trip. Whether eating fresh omu, a Baikal fish stewed in soup, visiting a Buddhist stupa, or swimming in the crystal clear waters, Baikal breeds something natural, organic, and spiritual, leaving visitors entirely renewed. Nature is just one of the wonders Russia has to offer. Its major tourist attraction is St. Basil's Cathedral, or Cathedral of Vasily the Blessed. This place is an architectural marvel and a World Heritage Site. The 16th century-old stands near the Kremlin in Russia.
The St. Basil's Cathedral is Moscow's most famous artistic work of architecture. Also called Pokrovsky Cathedral, or the Cathedral of Intersection of the Bridge of Madrid, is Russia's most important building nowadays. This building is to the Russians what the Eiffel Tower is to the French, an honorable symbol of their past, their present, and their future. It stands in the Red Square, facing the Ivory Gate Chapel. It was constructed between 1555 and 1561 by the order of Ivan IV, Ivan the Terrible, in the celebration of the defeat of Catherine, the last remaining grip of the Mongol Empire in European lands. Historians claim that Ivan the Terrible blinded the architect after the construction was finished to prevent him from building another magnificent cathedral, as St. Basil's is. But originally, its sides were wood, and during the reign of Catherine II, they changed those wood walls to those great stone walls we see today with those swirling colors. Now, there are at least 400 icons painted between the 14th and 19th centuries by the most famous schools of Novgorod and Moscow hanging on the walls. St. Basil's instills its visitors, and which can only be described as an essential Russian experience.
You said that you were interested in history. Throughout the history of Russia, there have been quite a few political movements. What comes to mind when you think of Russia? Perhaps the Cold War, communism? Russia nowadays is quite different than the communist Russia of the past. One such example is the Nashi movement. The word Nashi in Russian means ours. This particular youth movement declared itself to be democratic, anti-fascist, and anti-oligarch capitalist. Its creation was encouraged by senior figures in the Russian presidential administration and is labeled as a non-governmental organization. By late 2007, it had grown in size to some 120,000 members, aged between 17 and 25. Vasily Yakemenko, the leader of the former movement, Walking Together, said in 2005 that the goal of the new movement, ours, was to put an end to the anti-fraudulent union of oligarchs, anti-Semites, Nazis, and liberals. Several Moscow newspapers suggested the goal of the group was actually a bit more specific, to eventually replace the party of power, United Russia. However, not all of its goals were politically motivated. Nashi organized voluntary work in orphanages and old people's homes, and helped restore churches and war memorials. It also picketed shops accused of selling alcohol and cigarettes to minors, and campaigned against racial intolerance.
The first stage of the Nashi movement, which is also the most successful one, took place between the years 2005 to 2007. The movement declared its objective of forcibly preserving the current political system with a gradual replacement of the ruling government. Liberals and fascists were defined as the main targets, meaning all of those who intended to go out into the streets to influence the government in the way protesters did in Georgia and Ukraine. The Ours movement was to become an alternative. To attract more apolitical youth, the Kremlin government offered as a bait promises of a fast career path, access to top government officials, and participation in prestigious projects. Commissars who were at the head of the government would hold a periodic meeting with the president and the government ministers. Each year, the movement would organize a summer camp, which will be held in the Tver region, more specifically in the Lake Silivri. This event was funded by the government, costing more than $6 million. However, the plan did not work out. United Russia was a country in no hurry of adding the youth from the movement into their election list. Quickly, the movement started to become a mechanism for receiving financial resources through semi-official channels. Only a few members managed to obtain a promotion. On April 6, 2012, the leader from the Nashi movement announced that the movement itself would start to slowly dissolve because of the arrival of new organizations. In 2012, he also stated that he had been compromised with the Russian presidential elections. Even though the Nashi movement is no more, there are many others you can study by looking at Russia's history. Remember that the Russian culture is rich, spanning centuries of history. Do you want our advice? Come and study one of Russia's top universities as you experience some of the most famous historical monuments, palaces, and museums. All you gotta do is divide a trip between St. Petersburg and Moscow. Each city has a bevy of historical sites on offer, each with its own particular flavor. We know you're looking to become a journalist. Journalists are very important because they influence the way we see the world. Russia has had some bad press in the past. You could change how the world views their country. Lomonosov Moscow State University, or LMSU, will empower you with the necessary tools to become an influence to millions around the world. The Faculty of Journalism has a long legacy of academic excellence and continues to prepare students as media professionals in a rapidly changing world. LMSU has an excellent faculty body consisting in highly professional teachers, researchers, and mentors. The Faculty of Journalism offers full-time 5-year specialist degree program, part-time 6-year specialist degree program, as well as 2 years master degree program. The faculty trains specialists for newspapers, magazines, editorial offices for television companies, internet companies, and PR agencies. It also trains international journalists, photojournalists, and publishing specialists. So come and study journalism, and in your free time, get lost in the historical riches of one of the most extraordinary countries in the world. Let the ancient wall of fortresses, glittering palaces, and swirling spire torches inspire your first journalistic article. Russia is a riddle, wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma. Winston Churchill. Thank you for your attention.